Championship day, March Madness, college basketball, and who better to talk hoops? We got Rico Bosco, then his best college basketball friend, NBC Sports, Johnny Fanta. John, what's up, man? Thank you so much. I know it's crazy busy. You're back home. How we feeling? Championship day, another season about to be in the books.
Clash of the heavyweights tonight, gentlemen. This is going to be so fun. Dave, I love how much you respect UConn, and they've more than earned that respect. The Wolverines, well, they've got the respect to everybody too, and they're 36-3. What they did on Saturday night was nothing short of unbelievable. That was one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. You take the analytical #1 team in the country, you take them out back, and you beat them that way. That was just an all-out display. Adai Mara told me he took a 3-hour siesta ahead of this game. Talk about a boss, takes a 3-hour nap, then shows up, goes off for 26-9. I mean, he is an absolute force. And so tonight, on the other side, it's the three-point shooting attack. I can't wait for this matchup, guys. Big Ten, Big East, it's what it's all about.
And a lot of people forget that Arizona game. It's easy after you see the blowout. The money on that game switched. Arizona went off as a 1.5-point favorite in that game. So, I mean, it truly was one of the great performances in Final Four history, but you got to finish it off. Now that I got you on, Johnny, I know you're a basketball coach. What do you think if I don't know if you can see this shirt here. Can you see this one?
Jesus Christ.
We got this one warming up in the bullpen right now.
Come on.
Exclusive drop.
We got this one warming up. We got it warming up. I think if we pull this off, when this goes on sale, add a little brother to it. But we're doing it for all the Big Ten, Johnny. We're doing it for the whole conference to try to bring a title for the first time in a long time to the Big Ten conference.
26 years.
It's time. I mean, look, the league had 4 of the Elite 8. You get 6 in the Sweet 16. You get 2 in the Final Four. This is the Big Ten. If they're going to break this drought, the night is tonight. Look, Michigan, go back to November, and they were cleaning teams up. I mean, what they did at Players Era was just unbelievable. I laugh when people say, oh, they got a little bit bored. They're 36-3. Like, they've played 39 games. What do you mean get bored? It's not like they lost 8 or 9 games. By the same token, Dan Hurley said to me the other night, he's like, people think we're crap this year. We're 34-5. I will say this, Dave, and I don't know if you agree or disagree. Michigan is a heavy favorite tonight, comparable to other national championship games, right? But by the same token, like, I think this is where your respect for UConn comes. I don't think, like, if Michigan does this tonight, it shouldn't be, well, they were always going to coast. They're going up against the defining brand in college basketball over the last 5 years. And the other thing I don't want to hear is that they bought a title. Ask Mark Pope how that worked out. Mm-hmm. Ask Jerome Tang how that worked out. You don't just buy a title.
Yeah, that's the dumbest. And again, a lot of my friends in East Lansing, a lot of them they're the leaders in this chant. Tommy Sweet 16 because, build, not buy. But let me tell you something. If that is your philosophy moving forward, that you're not going to get transfers, you're not going to pay, well, you're never going to win in this NIL era. You have to do that. And I talked to all of my people last night. You know how it goes, Johnny. You're feeling good, you're having dinner, you're internet, you're texting, how about them Wolverines and the resources? And this basketball team is going nowhere. There's no accident why Dusty May said, I'm here for life, because the money's there, the program's there, and you need to spend to win. So Michigan spends better. We're smarter people. That's what we are criticizing now, that Michigan people are smarter than East Lansing people. We've known that for years.
Well, I won't get in the IQ battle on the Ann Arbor versus East Lansing front. I don't know if I'm.
That's factual. So that's just
understood. That's fact. Look, he's 63-13. Dusty May has done an unbelievable job inheriting a program that won 8 games 2 years ago and saying, I'm going to win the Big Ten tournament in my first year, and then follow it up with a Big Ten regular season championship and make it to the national championship game and potentially end this conference's drought. But we should have known. Look what he did at Florida Atlantic.
Exactly.
You don't just do that. For the people who tonight are saying, well, he's got all the resources, okay, there's other people that have those types of resources that do not win, or people that had more resources and that have not been able to win. But look, you ever see The Shining, Dave?
Yes.
See The Shining?
Great
Yes.
movie.
Well, Dan Hurley is Jack Nicholson inside that hotel. And the longer you stay in the hotel with him, the more danger you put yourself in. It's red rum. That kid's riding the bicycle. And here's Danny. Like, Danny's got the axe, and he's scooching around the hotel. Shelley Duvall's screaming. Like, you gotta beat him. You gotta somehow get him out. Remember how the movie ends? They get him out into the maze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Michigan's gotta get them out to their maze, if you will.
Blue, Maze and Blue.
Maze and Blue. They gotta try to confuse him. It's gonna be hard. Because he's unstoppable.
Yeah, and this is a team, I've said it over again, you're not going to get me to disparage them. And I'd actually say, you say the defining program in the last 5 years, the last 20 years. I mean, this UConn team, it's hard to picture them now, but before they burst onto the scene, everyone's like, who's UConn? What is this team? And all the blue bloods were looking at them, be like, UConn, who? UConn is the premier power program of the last 2 decades. It's not really even close. And if they ever pulled this upset off, I don't even know what you have. They're already an unbelievable dynasty.
Well,
but if they won this, it takes it to a whole new level. So I am not looking past this team. I've been with this team. I've been in the student section with this team, high as a kite. I've been betting on them winning millions of dollars to win tournaments. So nobody respects UConn more than me, and it's going to be a war tonight to beat this team.
That's the question I had, John. You look at, obviously, UConn's success. The program for over 25 years would be unbelievable. What does this do if Hurley pulls off this upset? For one, being probably the second biggest upset in national tournament history. He would have 3 titles in 4 years. He'd have 3 total, which puts him in a pantheon above Izzo.
Definitely not the second, Bosco.
What did I say?
The second?
Second what?
Biggest upset
Biggest
national
upset?
championship. That can't be true.
It's damn close. Duke was 9.5.
Yeah, Duke
What about
was having 99.
what
What
about
about 1985? Rolly Massimino over
Yeah,
John
what-
Thompson?
Okay, it's in terms of do you have?
what
if you have,
about Valvano?
if you have lines on that, yeah, I'm going straight from the gambling aspect. You're right.
You're picking
it's,
nits.
it's in the
You're
it's in the it's in the Mount
distracted from
Rushmore.
Rico's
It's in the
question.
Mount Rushmore.
Yes,
It's in the
yes.
Mount
It
Rushmore.
would be.
It'd be a big upset, but I don't think it's Valvano. I don't think it's Rolly Massimino. You already said Duke.
Check the spreads. Check the spreads. We'll double check. You're right. You're right. There's been some big ones, but either way, John, this gives him 3.
You hire
Puts him.
your expert. He's going to check everything and get
Well,
back to us.
you got to, because that's the thing of Bosco. If you let him start going on a roll, he'll just start steamrolling facts, and he'll just start running over the truth.
Okay. Anyway, where does this put Hurley? 3 titles, 3 and 4, still a relatively young guy. Where is he in the pantheon of all times? Because he's pretty damn high.
Well, here's the deal. Dan has a picture of John Wooden in his office. All right, we know where John Wooden stands in college basketball history, and that's the greatest. If he wins this game tonight, it's his best coaching job of his career because this team got clobbered in the Big East Championship game. It was non-competitive against the St. John's team that ultimately, their season ended in the Sweet 16. This would create the conversation that he can surpass Krzyzewski, that he could be, in among the top 4 ever to coach basketball.
Really?
Ever coach college basketball for sure. That's where he puts himself tonight. And he's 53. We have to start to have the conversation of, are we watching a modern day, the greatest? Not among. he puts himself number one. Like, he's number one right now, if you want to rank best coaches in the country.
Yeah.
He wins this game tonight. He could have a bad year next year, and you would still say he's number one. That's what I think. He's just earned the benefit of every single doubt.
Here's the question. Do you think and I've gone back and forth in my head 3 times as I thought of the question. Do you think it's easier to win consistently now, or because the counter argument would be, well, if you can spend, you can always guarantee yourself a great roster.
Yeah, ask Mark Pope.
Yeah, well, yes, Mark Pope may not be a good coach.
Yeah, but
I think it was a little bit easier back then. The same guys coming back.
It's hard to build consistency.
Correct, but if you miss on your guys, like right now, for example, Michigan, we have money, we have a great coach, we can go cherry pick. Oh, Yaxel, come with us. Oh, Mara, come with us.
But
you can create super teams almost every year.
It's got to work, though. To John's point, it didn't work for K-State, didn't work for Kentucky. It's got to work.
Yeah, Dave, it's like if you constantly change things up in the office place. By the way, Georgetown was a 9.5 points favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's 6 of them that were greater than tonight's spread.
Okay, great.
So, I mean, well, that's
Whatever.
Dave,
all pulled
Dave,
together.
Y'all are
Dave,
coming
Dave,
after my
Dave,
guy
Yeah, we're all out
Rico.
now.
His question,
His
question still
6 of them
stands.
higher, or was it a
How
tie?
6 of
dare
them
you
were-
correct Rico
6 of them
Bosco?
were-
I didn't
That's
say
all.
how dare. I did not say how dare.
There was
I knew Duke was a 9.5.
No, you.
Some of them are what, 8.5? Like, we're picking
on me again.
They're all right
We're picking
there.
nits.
Picking on Bosco again
Community
because
noted.
he said something wildly inaccurate,
13.
and we called
Scales.
him out on it.
Dave, what was the look that you said when we were talking Friday? The look when you ask a question?
He just kind of
Wait,
stares.
process, John, process.
Okay, got it. Process. It was like the Calipari stuff when we asked you some flat out questions about the past, and you just denied that you ever had a Twitter account to begin with.
No, I did not deny it. I said the
We
criticism.
move on. We move on. Look. Here's the thing. It puts him in that tier, but it is harder to do now because Dave, you constantly change things up. You don't know how the personalities are going to go. You don't know that Elliot Cadeau is actually going to take coaching.
Yep.
He was coming from Carolina where he was really allowed to do whatever he want under Hubert Davis, and Dusty May knew he was talented, but they didn't know if he would stay disciplined. That's what impresses me about Cadeau. He's made sacrifices to fit into what they want to do. You don't know if Namari Burnett's going to accept that he's going to have a much more minimal role under Dusty May than Juwan Howard and won't transfer away. So, like, I really think that we're talking about something that's very difficult to do 3 times over 4 years, especially when you consider that this is really when everything kicked in with the NIL and rev sharing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this 3 and 4 years is during the ultimate process of change.
And on the flip side, Dusty, he's already up there, but if he completes this deal, you turn this Michigan program around like that, you're at the Final Four with the team that nobody saw coming. I mean, he elevates himself right up there onto the top. He's already there, but this really cements him, and the future is so bright for the Block M. It's just really a great time to be a fan of Michigan basketball and sports in general. So I expect to win this game. It would be heartbreaking to come this far and not win this game. But if there's one team in the country that is standing in the way, keep saying it's this UConn Husky, it's Dan Hurley. So
John,
that does strike a little fear into me.
So, Johnny, what about this then? Get to 1 game sample size. Anything can happen. If it's going to happen, if UConn is somehow going to fulfill this intangible thing that they have, what do you see as being kind of the script of the game? Like, what breaks that way to create an upset that on paper looks like it's really far-fetched?
You got to get through the first 8 minutes and just be within striking distance. You can't like Michigan was up 10-1 on Arizona. You're not coming back from. I don't care that it's 9.
Right.
I don't care that UConn can make threes. I'm talking about Michigan here. How good they are. How much how good I think they are. You can't go down 10-0. You can be fighting uphill. You have to establish your footing in this game. Now, you know where the architecture starts with this? If Connecticut comes out and hits 3 of their first 4 shot attempts from 3,
Yeah.
and they're getting the game slowed down, One of the great things about UConn is if you look at their figures, they're one of the slower operating teams in the country. So they want to limit possessions. They want to take the shot clock down, run Braylon Mullins, Alex Caravan off ball screen, solo ball too, and eventually get them to flash out for an open look. They do have the script that can be there with Michigan at the end and that can allow them to win the game. So this is not like, that's why it's not all-time shocker if they find a way. But it starts with they got to hit at least 11 threes. At least 11 threes. And Terrace Reed cannot be in foul trouble. Because for me, if I'm Michigan, I go right at Reed. I attack Reed defensively, and I say, Terrace, you're going to have to guard our guys, and we're going to get you in a couple of whistles. Because then it's a freshman, Eric Ryba, going up against Adai Mara and Morez Johnson. It's a very, very uphill battle. Reed has to stay out of foul trouble. Solo ball and Alex Caravan can't go 1 for 11.
Yeah, Caravan has to step it up. Has to.
He's got to step it up and play a big-time game. It's his last college game. Think about that, Dave. Enrico, he took it, and T-Bob, he took it to the absolute limit. I respect all that.
One of the best UConn guys ever.
He'd have one of the best resumes ever in terms of winning for sure. I mean, look, here's the deal. UConn wins tonight. They break the tie with UNC. They're only behind, I think, UCLA and Kentucky when it comes to that. As he enters, Hurley, that is, enters Roy Williams, Bobby Knight. This is a massive legacy-defining moment. Yaxel, Johnny, last one here. Yaxel, he's going to play, going to be limited. How much does that factor in? And who has to step up in Yaxel's absence?
Well, they got good production from Trey McKinney, right? And their supporting cast, like Roddy Gale, can step up for them as well. One of the biggest keys for Michigan that turns them from here to here is when their complementary shot makers on the wing also are knocking things down. That's why when they lost Case and people were concerned. But look, like Cheddar can come in and give them something. They've got depth. I'm not worried about that. I expect Jackson to be at 60, 70%. He's going to grind it out as much as he humanly can. But they've got an embarrassment of riches. And look for those other guys. I thought McKinney was fantastic in the Final Four game. But I want to bring this last thing up to you guys before I let you go. Okay? We're in an era in college sports right now where everybody's talking about Curt Cignetti. Okay? And just, 2 short years, the last 2 years of what he's done. If Dusty May wins this title tonight, what kind of pressure does that put on ADs and on schools across the country that say it takes 4 or 5 years to actually get it right? He will have turned this thing in 2 freaking years. If I'm an Indiana fan, I'm like looking for a paper. I'm just a basketball fan. Thank God they got their football title, but we all know Indiana and what basketball means to them. They're not the only ones. Like Kentucky fans got to be saying, look what he did.
Yeah.
Look what he did in 2 years. I want that for my school. So it does add to this whole climate of there's pressure. There's pressure to perform in a short window.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. And Kentucky is the obvious answer. Example, I think if a coach fails in this NIL era for 2 years, I don't know that you should sit back and think, well, he's going to turn around. He needs time. I agree with you totally. 2 years, if you haven't shown signs that you can win and win big, it's on to the next, I would think. Football, I'm not sure. Cignetti, I still can't wrap my brain around that one. That one's so unusual. It's much easier in basketball with the shorter roster. You get 2 or 3 players, you're off and running.
It's a reflection, though. It's a reflection of Rico's longevity. He has I respect that. You've had multiple contracts. Like, you've made it work for a long time.
One
multiple
boss.
eras.
He's had
multiple
one boss,
eras,
and it's like Superman with
What's the score prediction? Give
All
us
right,
the
we
score
gotta go.
prediction,
Johnny,
Score
who wins?
prediction.
Johnny, final one.
2 seconds.
Michigan 78, UConn 70. UConn 70. Michigan 78, UConn 70.
There it is.
Oh,
Johnny
over.
Fanta, NBC Sports. John, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
a great day. Wrap up our one.
Congratulatory text after we win the title.
Thank you, guys. You got it.